Hi, I'm Meteorologist Lisa Green here with a look at what we can expect as we head into the forecast for the next couple of days. It's been a tough start to the week with the wind, with the cold that we've been dealing with, and then on top of that, of course, the rain that we've gotten too. And some of us are still seeing some of that, but it is improving a little bit here today with the wind coming down. We saw skies clear a little bit more sunshine here for a lot of places this morning. But that clearing, that calming of the wind, and just the colder air mass moving in general helped to lead to what some of us haven't seen yet this season until we got into last night and this morning. And that is our first freezing temperature. Now, some of you may be like, what are you talking about? We've already had freezing this year. Well, not everybody, especially in the Southern Valley. We've been close, but at Fargo, the airport, we hadn't seen freezing yet. So here is a look at the numbers. I'm going to pull this up full screen for you here. We saw our fall freeze happen overnight last night, and so that puts us in a ranking of top 5 for the Fargo airport. So that means that we can see what I've circled there. We're in 3rd place this year. So and what I mean by that is I'm talking about the latest date that we've had a freezing temperature in the fall. So we are looking at the number 1 is October 24th. That's the latest date in the fall season that we've seen our temperature drop to freezing. That was 1994. We would have tied October 22nd, 2007, had our temperature held on just a little bit longer after midnight last night, but it didn't. It did drop below freezing. Technically, on yesterday's calendar date, just before midnight, a temperature of 30 came in. And so that puts us at October 21st in 3rd place for the latest fall freeze up. And that was at, of course, just the 11th hour, literally, last night. And I shouldn't say freeze up because we still have some warm ground out there, but just seeing those fall temperatures reach the freezing mark. And then other dates that were close, October 20th, there was a tie for 4th in the 2021 season, and way back in 1911. That's an old record there. So again, interesting to see the later fall freeze happening in Fargo. So just something to note, just an interesting statistic to share for you. And then looking at our overnight lows in general, lots of places dropped below freezing. Not everybody did, but a lot of us did. And so I'm going to take this full screen because these numbers are kind of small. Fargo, Moorhead, both airports got down to 30. 28 was our low in Grand Forks. And we had a low of 27 in Cooperstown, Jamestown, Valley City, and Oaks, and over in Wahpeton as well. That was our lowest temperature on the map last night. So again, chilly. A lot of places reported frost, including in the FM area, as our temperatures dropped. We saw frost on those windshields for the first time this season in a lot of spots. So now we are working on warming up. It's going to be gradual, but that is happening here. So taking a look at our temperatures, you can see we're at 37 in Fargo, looking at 37 in Grand Forks as well. Just barely above freezing in Fergus Falls at 34 degrees. So it's a slow climb. And some areas seeing sun, some areas still seeing some clouds. But notice the wind, not nearly as strong as it was yesterday. We've got a calm report going on at Devil's Lake, Fergus Falls, Bemidji. Still reporting a little bit of wind in the east into the teens. And still out of the north or northwest, so still some generally cooler air in the region. Here's a look at our radar and satellite. Overnight last night, we saw some clouds drifting through. And a few of them, even into early this morning, showed at least a couple of flakes up on the radar. You can see a little bit of that still going on up toward western parts of Cavalier County. So don't be surprised if you see a flurry underneath some of these clouds that are drifting through. There are some breaks in between, but in general, we are looking at a lot of places with some clouds. And here's why. The system's still influencing our weather. It's pulling away, but you can see the precip still going on in places like the Arrowhead in Minnesota, back over Lake Superior. And so this will gradually move eastward, shift eastward as we head into tonight. Now, let's take a look to the tropics because we have our next tropical system. And I know a lot of folks have interest down in the Caribbean, whether you've taken a vacation to Jamaica, you have family and friends in Florida, they'll need to be eyeing this storm closely. It's Tropical Storm Melissa, and it currently has sustained winds of 50 miles per hour with gusts that are a little higher than that. Still moving to the west-northwest. It's kind of wobbled a little bit here. as it continues to swirl well south of, this is Hispaniola here, which is the island name. Dominican Republic on the east side, and the Haiti on the west side. There's Jamaica right there. So it's still well south of those places, but its outer bands, its outer cloud cover and reaches, including, you know, rip currents and that kind of thing, those kind of impacts being felt on some of these islands. And, you know, we don't have radar sites off land. We can look down on the clouds on our satellite, but we only detect radar from land. And so we do have our radar on Puerto Rico picking up some of the rain, but it can't see that much farther out. That's why there's rain here and nowhere else, because we just don't have radar in this area, in this part of the Caribbean. So this storm is projected to kind of slowly drift here through the Caribbean. As you can see here, it's just kind of been slowly hanging around and kind of wobbling west to east in its current location. And here's a look at the track on that. It will be expected to make its way to the northwest. You can see it kind of tries to hook east a little bit or hook north. This is Friday overnight. And then, according to the National Hurricane Center, they've been looking at all of the models and compiling their forecast. It's expected to make another kind of westerly turn and intensify over those warmer waters of that part of the Caribbean, and then perhaps get to Category 2 hurricane status as we head into the weekend. And with the forward momentum on this storm, that means those bands will be moving toward Jamaica here. And so we're going to be feeling some decent impacts, some strong hurricane impacts on the island of Jamaica. If this is what happens, it could maybe go a little farther north or continue westward. So it's something that, again, is being watched closely. Oh, and I should say, actually, I didn't push my button far enough here. I meant to say that a Category 3 storm is possible. This is by Monday morning. And Category 3 would classify it as a major hurricane. So, again, watching that one closely. Okay, so here in the valley, of course, nothing like that. We don't have to worry about tropical weather. One of the few things we don't have to worry about when it comes to weather here in the Red River Valley. And so you can see temperatures through the morning. We're going to see those numbers climb and get into some 40s to, I think in southeastern North Dakota, we'll be more likely to see 50 degrees. And wind, at times, we'll see some gusts into the teens. Maybe up to 20 miles per hour here heading into the afternoon, and some varying cloud cover as we go through time. Looking at the afternoon planner, some low 40s to the northeast, and again, more likely to be near 50 in the south and west in the valley. And checking out our forecast on our wind planner, so nice to see this. All we're seeing are the sustained wind, no real gusts, though there is that possibility, again, we could see some gusts into the teens, and winds that are out of the north or northwest. Our hour-by-hour planner, looking at a spotty shower in the northeast and some cloud cover there up by Lake of the Woods. And again, more likely to see breaks in the clouds the farther west you are as we go through the day today. So we'll continue to watch for that. You know, it just depends on where you are, what you're going to be experiencing here. Where, you know, if you're in northern Minnesota, it is going to be more gray. It is going to be more on the cloudy side. And so heading into tonight, we are seeing some areas with clearing, and those areas that have had clearing, watch what happens over here. This is in the middle of the night. We see clouds kind of form right over those places, and that's where that potential will be for some fog development in the morning hours for tomorrow, perhaps south and west. And with temperatures near freezing again tomorrow, there's the potential for some freezing fog as well. So we'll be watching for that. Here's a look at Thursday's lows. This is about 4 a.m., so give or take a degree or two, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be into the low 30s to some upper 20s, so similar to today. So be prepared for that tomorrow. If you brought in your mums last night because of the cold, you'll want to do it again tonight because of that potential for freezing temperatures. Now, looking to the weekend, we're looking at upper 50s to low 60s Saturday, mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Looks like a pretty decent day. Sunday does feature wind as our next system starts to approach, but it will still be mild temperature-wise. And we continue to look ahead to Halloween. So here's your Halloween preview. Some not so great news, you know, a little scary, spooky news for Halloween. This is, again, not for this Friday, for next Friday. We're looking at temperatures, you know, still in the 40s for highs, but there is a chance. Models are suggesting that we may see some rain passing through. It might not be heavy rain, could be just a quick little passing shower. But it is a possibility, so I wanted to make sure we mentioned it so you could prepare your costumes accordingly, just in case. Better to prepare for the worst, right, than expect the best and then not have what you need if we do see some rain. It's also going to be on the breezy side, it looks like right now. But again, this is still 10 days away. We still have some changes possible in the forecast and some adjustments that we'll be making as we get closer. So here's a look at the full 11-day planner. Today, tomorrow, 50s. Again, some cold mornings. Tomorrow, or Friday, we'll get into some low 60s and stay mild into the weekend. Good timing for that, to see that warm up toward the weekend. And then there's that next system for Monday and Tuesday, watching for some wind and some rain. And then we're cooler again midweek and into the holiday itself. So watching all of those things closely and keeping an eye on those overnight lows as well. So we've reached freezing now in Fargo, so I think just about every place in the valley has had their freeze. And we'll continue on into the season here as we're looking at temperatures continuing to kind of cool back toward the second part of October. Remember how warm we started the month? Not going to be quite that warm as we are ending the month. Still not bad, just under the average or even above average in our forecast. So have a great Wednesday, and we'll have another weather update right here on Valley News Now, and of course on our social media pages as well coming up this afternoon.